Itadakimasu, rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub, 3 men in a boat with nothing to say of the dog or something like that. I don't know how that goes.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
This is the very traditional Japanese opening to Ikenai Kanajo no Otetsudai chapter. Tom, what chapter are we on?
Chapter 25.
25. Isekai foot lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your isekai manga.
Yes, if only this were an isekai, then it would be a true 11 out of 10. But sadly, it's only a 10 out of 10.
Well, I don't know about feet fetishes, but we do have some water sports fanatics featured in this chapter. Not the actual act, thankfully. It's not that degenerate.
Yeah, I guess she is into that kind of thing.
But we come here, we see Hanako of the toilet, the ghost girl spirit that lives in the toilet. Everybody knows this if you've lived in Japan for any amount of time.
As we all have, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we're broadcasting right now from
You've probably met
Tokyo
her
Square.
yourself, really.
And so we see her, she's got something fishy, and she goes and hides it in the bathroom.
She's doing paranoid glancing, which one of these days I'll learn how to do proper sound effects. Because, it's not, like, proper in English to say, like, words as sound effects.
You
it
could
should
say,
be like a
shift,
or something like
so I think that's fine. I think it's fine.
Your head back and forth. Yeah, it gets the job done. And half the time I just skip them anyway. Like, just look at anything on these pages. I skip a lot.
So our heroes also saw Hanako do this, so they're going to go in and steal her toilet diary.
Yes, because it's the best place to keep a diary. And what I want to know is how it doesn't get soggy.
I don't know. I was thinking
it's clearly dripping. It even says drip, drip, drip in the sound effects.
It looks laminated, but if she's writing on it, I don't know how. I assume it's a spiritual diary as well.
It could
be haunted aspects.
Well, since you say it looks laminated, it could be that it's in like a Ziploc or something, and I think that's plausible.
See, that's what I thought at first. It was a Ziploc. But then I was like, well, it's too uniform to be a Ziploc. It looks too rigid, so maybe it's
I wouldn't put it past Japan to have, like, book covers for that kind of thing, though.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, and last thing on this page, which is something I noticed while I was doing my notes here, the little fwa thing, like, in the top left, I kind of thought it was, like, I didn't give it, like, any time of thought or any time of day. I didn't think about it, but I thought it was just, like, someone, like, relaxing or, I don't know, like a post, movement sound effect of like relief, you know what I mean? Like, because it's in the bathroom, so I thought someone was like upon reinspection I think it's hua, which is like kind of a floating sound effect because she's clearly floating into the bathroom. That's a behind the scenes Easter egg right there.
I can confirm it's Ziploc bag.
What do you mean you can confirm that?
That's a Ziploc bag. Look, you got the Ziploc.
Oh,
right
is
there.
that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Then it makes sense.
Yep.
How did we miss that?
I don't know.
Same way I missed the fua.
Exactly.
It's easy to miss things. Speaking of missing things, this bugged me a lot too. How Hanako never filled out what grade and class she was in. You're supposed to put like 1A or whatever, like the classic like Japanese like class name identification.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do it.
That's because it's an eternal diary. It goes for longer than that. She's stuck to the school as a spirit. She's been to many classes.
So then does she start, or did she start the diary after her death? Because that's kind of what that would imply.
Did she go to class?
She was at one time a student. She has,
but she doesn't go
outfit.
Now.
She might pop in. I
don't think she does not attend class.
Well, no, because she's a ghost. I think she mostly hangs out in the bathroom.
All right. Well, we're just fleshing out the lore for all the listeners at home.
Or flushing out, because it's a toilet joke.
I get it. Oh, here we go. We've got reminiscing of the side boob in the Virgin Killer sweater.
This is kind of the classic flashback chapter in a way, and it's a little bit of like it's a character study. Is that even the right term for it?
Sure. Character recap.
Yeah, we get to see kind of her motivations, and it's interesting that she kind of had been eyeing Rinko for such a while, but never like made a move or anything. I would have expected her to like molest her or something. Well, I guess she doesn't do that. She's more like an observer.
Yeah, she's a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
And, when you figure you're the only two ghosts in the school, like, you probably run into each other.
Well, apparently not, because they hadn't spoken up until...
They were aware of their presence.
Oh, I don't think Rinko was aware,
Well, she's airheaded.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, she is pretty oblivious to everything. I love these panels. And I love the panels on these pages here, where she's, like, inspecting the scrunchie, starts off innocent enough, I guess. You sniff it, and then she's like licking it, like biting down on it.
That's I didn't even notice that was a tongue at first.
Yeah.
It's like the fast, really, like,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll skip a lot of sound effects, especially if it's kind of like self-evident. But that one I wanted to make sure that,
Yeah.
I had the lick in there, the munch, I think, and the next one.
And then here we go. They did the fusion dance, and now they've fused together. I feels like I'm one with Kuchiki. And here we go. This is from a different scene, or a different perspective of the famous scene, the fantasy sex. Everybody loves that one.
Yeah.
And that blows her mind.
I mean, really, that's all that she's about.
Mm-hmm.
Anything kind of like sex related or pervy, definitely.
Lewd.
And I gotta say, I love the content fill or content aware fill, whatever it's called in Photoshop, because I would not have been able to clean these pages well enough without that. In fact, like pretty much every page in this chapter had some kind of text over background kind of thing that really would have given me a lot of trouble had I not switched to Photoshop. So let that be a lesson. I don't know what kind of lesson, but it's an important one.
And now the flashback ends, and the real Hanako comes. He's like, "Hey guys, what are you up to?" And then it's like, "Hey, wait a minute, that's mine." And this is just a look of despair right here.
Oh, I love that face, and it's a pretty unique one because a lot of faces get reused in this manga. Just like the common reactions.
It could have easily been this.
Yeah, but I think this one kind of speaks to her character a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know what it means because I'm autistic. I can't read faces, but I know that it's funny. So it's kind of interesting here. Hawk-eyed viewers, readers will notice this. Like, Yohei seems kind of adamant about burning this book, and the reason he cites here is like, what if Kuchiki were to read it? It's like she would die or whatever.
OTP.
It's gotta be kinda, cause like he's not saying, oh Rinko, you shouldn't read what else is in here about you. It shouldn't be like, what if Najimi were to read this? It's Kuchiki,
Well, she's the only one that's still alive.
Well, no, Najimi's alive. Muko, if she counts, is alive. But how many dates has Yohei been on with any of these girls? I think 0, except for Kuchiki,
which has had like 7.
Yeah, I mean, she's even. Well, I guess Rinko spent the night, but in his body. But Kuchiki's, I think, been to his house, right, for the cooking episode, or was he at?
He was at her house.
Either way, I mean that counts. And then they did the whole lovers discount, like last chapter before that.
Yep.
I think it's OTP. So we'll find out probably in the last chapter, as every harem manga definitely has a final chapter conclusive ending. And then this was one of my favorite pages to work on because I did literally nothing to it.
I love the chibis. And they're like, "Oh, thank you. You accept me." And then boom.
Yes, I will catch you. And then not
throw her into the. Like when I first glanced over this, I was like, "Is she throwing her into the oven?" Like,
I mean, I don't think she'd fit. It's kind of a small incinerator. So
Najimi just finds the book and picks it up and pulls to a normal page, and it's like, what could she have possibly seen? Is it stuff about her? So we don't get to see all of it. Like, what does Hanako think of Najimi or Mako? The Little Witch Academy.
Yeah. Well, she, I think, was in this chapter in half of a panel, but that's it. She's not really a character in the manga. It's kind of like an also ran.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
Well,
I liked her.
She's on the cover of this volume.
She was probably added just to add another girl to the cover because you need to up the quotient, the girl ratio.
And then boom, the fantastic end page.
I kind of phoned this one. I had Death Note vibes.
Oh, it's a Death Note. Okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. I thought at one point of writing the text sex note somewhere. I even found the font for Death Note, and I had that, but I just couldn't get it to work visually. And I would have put down Rinko's name and stuff instead of Yohei at that point.
Now it all makes sense because a few days ago you were reading me Death Note trivia, and now that's why you were doing it.
So I out of curiosity, I looked up the rules just kind of as part of my research, looking for the scene and the exact wording and all of that. I found the rules for the Death Note, and there's 30 rules, and some of them are really particular and niche. If two guys have two different Death Notes and they write the same guy's name at the same time within 0.06 seconds, then neither of the Death Notes will kill him. I think you could then later write the person's name again. I don't know. Another one that really stuck out to me is bizarre. Is if you misspell the same guy's name 4 times, then you can't kill him with that Death Note anymore.
He's immortal. So you could write yourself.
Ooh, interesting.
A bunch of times.
I think it's only for that Death Note, though.
Can you kill yourself with your own Death Note?
I think so. It says you can shorten your lifespan, which I took to euphemistically mean kill yourself. Otherwise, what would you do? Just write
Shinigami eyes.
Well, no, that was a different rule. I mean, this was explicitly, it said, like, you could use it to shorten your lifespan, which, unless that means, like, take 5 years off my life, LOL. Like, I assume that only means you could kill yourself. Because in no other mechanic could you, like, shorten someone's life other than just straight up killing them. So, who knows?
And now, your illustrious comments, Abu Harjar, with the classic dragons having hand-holding with cars.
That's a good point. Yeah, I forgot to mention that, but that's a nice kind of reference type thing in the fantasy sex page. There was also, like the gyroids, whatever those are called. Like
from Animal Crossing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But whatever they're based on, I think it's like Haniwa or something. I don't know. But there was one of those, and there was an arrow pointed to Kachiki's rear mouth, so to speak. I forgot what the other pictures were. Oh, they were like giants, like a Super Sentai battle in a city. A nice representation of all the various forms of fantasy sex.
Very true. Author is a man of culture. At least Kuchiki was spared the indignity of the diary's existence.
Yep. She had to be shielded.
What's the deal with dragons hand-holding cars meme that gave it international recognition?
Because it's funny.
Yeah, like, we'll never know.
That's all you need to know. Dude who, the salt dude, you know that meme where the dude's like kind of leaning back a bit and like sprinkling salt? I've seen it in so many animes. And I didn't think it was that big of a meme here. I never really liked it, but I think the Japanese really like it. So it's weird to see which memes do get international play.
Look at that dragon playing with the car like a child with a Hot Wheels. Well, let's hope not.
I never played with Hot Wheels like that.
Finally, it's been ages since we had a Best Girl chapter. Talking Hanako.
Yeah, wow. That's a controversial opinion.
Dragons with cars even has its own subreddit. That's interesting.
I don't doubt it.
Such a nice chapter. Can't believe we only have 4 left. I just want to say the faces in this manga are so darn good. I agree. And the chibis.
Yeah.
I like the chibis.
I think that's kind of encapsulated in the faces.
And then we have the duality of man. Tamer Lane says, a chapter focusing on worst girl. But we got best girl, German suplexing her. So it's fine. Everybody's got different tastes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point of manga and harems and stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
Everyone's wrong unless they agree with me.
This is the greatest chapter ever written of anything ever. See, that's a little far.
Well, I think you meant specifically the translation, in which case I can't disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. He meant the YouTube video review of the chapter behind the scenes that he hadn't read yet. This that we're doing now. He meant
too
this
meta for me. Oh wow.
This right now, what you're listening to now is what. Yeah, I am so not looking forward to this series ending. It feels like it could go on so much more longer. Like those darn harem long mangas that barely get an ending. I hate harem endings when they're not like substantial. It's just like, oh, we all walk off into the sunset. And like, no.
But how common is that? Would you say?
Pretty
like
common.
More so than him picking a girl at the end? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think I've ever read a harem manga through to the end.
That's because they never end. They just go on forever.
Fair point. I mean, if you count this, then this is probably the only harem manga I've sat through or read or
Probably like 10 to 20% of the harem mangas that I've read have even ended or will even ever get finished translating or anything like that.
Oh, that too, yeah. Good point. But I'm kind of happy that it's not going to keep going on forever because, like, yeah, you could have a lot more good chapters from it, but it's that Batman quote where you either get canceled as a good manga or you keep going until you become like a insert bad harem manga here. A nisekoi or something.
Well, I think that kind of just goes to the meta point that all good things must come to an end. And so much this episode, you guys.
Whoa.
Before we get cringe, we're going to end it here. So thank you guys for listening. Join us for next chapter coming up soon. We got 4 more left. It's really exciting. Like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on MangaDex and all that jazz. Tom, say goodnight.
Good night.